Hi students, welcome to today's online class. Today we are going to learn about communication protocols. We already learned about communication, right? To have a communication, there should be one sender and one receiver, and there should be any transmission media. So coming to communication protocol, the rules, the set of rules, and we can also say which are used for efficiently exchanging information. So for the data transmission from sender to receiver. If you see the exact definition here, communication protocol refers to a set of communication rules which data can be efficiently exchanged or transmitted among several computers. It also provides formatting rules which defines the way of packing the data into sent and received messages. Header and its field along with their meanings. The communication system exchanges the messages with the help of some well-defined formats. It means communication protocol is nothing but the rules, the set of rules which are followed by the communication medium to transfer from sender to receiver. The process is called as what? Data transmission. Okay. So the different communication protocols used for data transmission are, you can observe here. So these are the, in second pic you can see the data sequencing, flow control, data routing, error control, data formatting, precedence and order of transmission, connection establishment and termination, data security, and last one is what? Log information. So these all are communication protocol. So what is the data sequencing? Sequencing means the data can be divided into a small fragment. Fragment is a small part. So a long message into a small number of data packets of a fixed size. So these packets are thus sequentially transmitted from sender to receiver without any error. So how the data is transmitted from sender to receiver, that will be considered in data sequencing. Next is flow control. This protocol is used to control the flow of data. Means how much speed the data is transmitting from sender and receiver, all are considered in a flow control. Generally speed of transmission of all the computers is not equally efficient. So the data transmitted faster and sender and slower receiver. Next, data routing means it is used to identify an efficient route between the source and destination to transmit the data. Error control means this protocol is used to detect and remove the errors which are occurred during the data transmission, we can say here. So data formatting in a sense, rules which specifies the way of packaging the data into sent and received messages. Precedence and order of transmission means these are the rules which provide assurance that each of the node gets an opportunity to use the communication channel as well as the other network resources depending on the priority assigned to them. Connection establishment and termination means how the connection is established between the nodes. Already I said what is a node. Node is any of the device. It may be a computer, it may be any of the printer, scanner which are connected in a network. So how the connection is established between the nodes, that can be terminated. So this, when two different nodes within a network wants to interact with one another. So next, data security. Data security means these are the rules that specify the process of providing the message security as well as the privacy while sending and receiving messages over the network. And the last one is log information. So these rules specify the types of log information that has to be maintained by the system. So log means was a tabular form, the data which data has to be sent to which destination, that all will be maintained in a log form, wherein this information can be used for applying changes to the user depending on the usage of network resources. What is the concept of layered? You can observe here in question number 31. So network usually consists of series of layers. When the data is transmitting from sender to receiver, there exist several layers for any network architecture. So, and hides the details of their implementation from higher levels. The layer N on one machine communicates with the layer N on another machine in an indirect way. So such layers, corresponding layers are called peers. So sender side same layer exists and receiver side also same layer exists. These two layers can also be called as what? Peers. So the rules or conventions that regulate or control the communication between the two layers are called what? Protocols. Series of protocols, one for each layer, is called protocol stack, we can say. So it's an interface between adjacent layers which contains the services provided by one layer to the other. The collection of layers and protocols is also called as a network architecture. So you can observe the exact definition here. The collection of the collection of layers and protocols is called what? Network architecture. So what are the protocols are used in a network, and how many layers are there? This combinedly forms a network architecture. This concept is useful to learn the next models, that is the network architecture models, that are OSI model and TCP/IP model, which we will learn in the next class. So before that we need to understand about this layer network architecture. So when two devices communicate with each other, the data moves from higher level to the lower. Then each layer adds its own information to the messages it receives from the layer above it. Okay, at the final layer, the entire message is converted to a form that can be transmitted to the destination device through a physical media. As we learned in a communication process, there should exist any of the physical media for data transmission. So at the destination machine, the message is unwrapped layer by layer. So such that layer receives and removes the data meant for it. So layer 2 removes data meant for it and passes the rest of the message to layer 3. As you observe the figure here, so you can observe the figure. This can be called as what? A peer-to-peer process. Peer-to-peer process means one side in source machine, or we can say sender machine, destination machine, and it can also be called as what? A receiver machine. So how many layers exist? The same number of layers should exist at the receiver side as well as in the sender side also. As you are observing in the figure, there are 4 layers in a source machine, and destination machine also 4 layers are there. This is called as a peer-to-peer architecture, we can say. So there should be any interface. When a layer N on one machine wants to send a message to layer N, if layer 2 wants to send a message to layer 2 in another receiver machine also, it will be first sent to the layer below it. Means layer 2 has to send to layer 1. Through that only the data can be transmitted over a physical media. So finally it reaches to the layer N, or any layer which you intended to send the message. So all the intermediate layers insert headers containing the sequence numbers in the message to provide some control information, and the message is divided into number of packets. In each layer the data can be called with different names that we will see in OSI model architecture. Okay, if it is too long to handle, it will be divided into small fragments called frames, data packets. Different names are there for particular data in different layers. Okay, so some of the reasons why we have to use layered protocols are there here. First is design. So it is a layered model. Each layer is defined separately. Each layer has its own purpose of working. The design problem is broken up into smaller and manageable pieces also. So another advantage is what, to make a protocol designer to specialize in one area. It means one layer only. Change means when change are made to one layer, it reduces impact on the other layer. For example, protocol on one layer can be changed easily without affecting higher or lower layers. If the model was not layered and consisted of a single layer, then any change can affect the entire model, as you observe in the figure. So learning the layered approach divided a big more complex task into several smaller tasks, where each small task is performed by one layer. Here work is divided among the layers. So here what is the work of this architecture? To transmit the data. The main purpose is to transmit the data from sender to receiver. Through the process only, this work is divided among the different layers you can observe in the figure. So this make it much easier to learn and understand the concept of each layer and the model. So communication approach is useful for proper organization and handling of communication. It also provides a standard programming interface between two layers. So standards means most important point here for using layered model. A layered model provides a guideline and a framework, not a rigid standard to be used by the various vendors. For smooth and easy data transmission, these layered architectures are used. So some of the layered architectures are OSI model and TCP/IP model. We are having in the next topic. So it's an important to interoperability between the various vendors products that perform different data communication task. So this is about what, a complete communication protocol concept. Based on this only, the next concepts, that is OSI model, network interface card, OSI model, TCP/IP topics are dependent. Okay, so go through the video and I will forward the notes. Just go through it, understand and forward to me by evening. For Telugu medium students, I will be explaining in Telugu also. So ఇక్కడ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ప్రోటోకాల్ అనేది ఏదైనా డేటాని ఒక కంప్యూటర్ నుండి ఇంకో కంప్యూటర్కి మనం చేరవేస్తుంటే ఆ ప్రాసెస్, అవి రూల్స్ ఏవైతే ఉంటాయో దాన్నే మనం ఏమంటాం, కమ్యూనికేషన్ ప్రోటోకాల్ అంటాం. ప్రోటోకాల్ అంటేనే రూల్ అన్నట్టు. సో కమ్యూనికేషన్ ప్రోటోకాల్ దేనికి యూజ్ అవుతుంది అంటే డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్కి. డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ అంటే డేటాని ఒక కంప్యూటర్ నుండి ఇంకో కంప్యూటర్ నుండికి చేరవేయడం. ఇక్కడ కొన్ని పాయింట్స్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ప్రోటోకాల్కి సంబంధించినవి. దట్ ఆర్ డేటా సీక్వెన్సింగ్. డేటా సీక్వెన్సింగ్ అంటే ఏ పద్ధతిలో డేటా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుందని. ఫ్లో కంట్రోల్ అంటే ఎంత స్పీడ్తో డేటా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుందని. డేటా రౌటింగ్ అంటే ఏ సిస్టమ్ నుండి ఏ సిస్టమ్కి వెళ్తుంది, ఆ డీటెయిల్స్ అన్నీ డేటా అనేది క్యారీ చేస్తుంది. ఎర్రర్ కంట్రోల్ అంటే ఎర్రర్స్ ఉన్నాయా డేటాలో, అవన్నీ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయబడతాయి. డేటా ఫార్మాటింగ్ అంటే రూల్స్ ఏవైతే ఉంటాయో ఫార్మాట్ కావడానికి సెండర్ నుండి రిసీవర్కి, అవన్నీ డేటా ఫార్మాటింగ్లో ఉంటాయి. ప్రిసీడింగ్ అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ అంటే ఏ డేటా ఇక్కడ రిసీవర్ సైడ్ ఇక్కడ డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ జరగబడుతుంది, అస్యూరెన్స్ ఏంటి, అవన్నీ ఇక్కడ. కనెక్షన్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్ అండ్ టర్మినేషన్లో ఆ కనెక్షన్ ఏ విధంగా ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేయబడ్డది కంప్యూటర్లో, ఏ ప్రోటోకాల్ యూజ్ చేయబడ్డది, అవన్నీ కూడా కనెక్షన్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్లో చూస్తాం. డేటా సెక్యూరిటీ అంటే డేటా కాపీ కాకుండా, ఎక్కడ డేటా లాస్ కాకుండా డేటా ఫార్వర్డ్ జరగడము. లాగ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అంటే డేటా ఏ సిస్టమ్ నుండి ఏ సిస్టమ్కి ట్రాన్స్మిట్ చేయబడ్డదో వాటికి సంబంధించిన డీటెయిల్స్ అన్నీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ స్టోర్ చేయబడి ఉంటాయి. సో ఇక్కడ నెట్వర్క్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్లో ఒక సిస్టమ్ నుండి ఇంకో సిస్టంలో డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ జరగాలంటే సేమ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ లేయర్స్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్ అవ్వాలన్నట్టు. సో ఇక్కడ లేయర్స్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తామంటే అక్కడ డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ జరిగేప్పుడు ఎన్ని విధాలుగా డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ జరుగుతుంది, ఆ ప్రాసెస్ని వివిధ రకాలుగా ఆ వర్క్ని డివైడ్ చేయబడుతాయి. సో ప్రతి ఒక్క లేయర్లో ఒక టైప్ ఆఫ్ వర్క్ అనేది డివైడ్ చేయబడుతుంది. సో డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ కావాలంటే ముఖ్యంగా మనకు కావాల్సింది ఏంది, ఫిజికల్ మీడియం. సో ఇక్కడ ఎందుకు లేయర్డ్ ప్రోటోకాల్ యూజ్ చేస్తామంటే డిజైన్ పర్పస్లో, చేంజ్ పర్పస్లో, లెర్నింగ్ పర్పస్లో డేటా ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ ఏ విధంగా జరుగుతుందని, మళ్ళీ కమ్యూనికేషన్ పర్పస్లో అండ్ స్టాండర్డ్స్ని మెయింటైన్ చేయడానికి లేట్ ప్రోటోకాల్ అనేది యూజ్ చేయబడుతుంది. థ్యాంక్ యూ. విల్ సీ ఇన్ ద